Hello, my name is Eknara and I will be showing you how to graph an absolute value equation. The one main thing to keep in mind when you are graphing is that the end result will always be in the shape of a V. So here is an example image of how your graph will look when you have completed graphing. As you can see, the end result is in the shape of a V. If you do not get something the same or similar to this example, you may have done something wrong and may need to check your work. So here are the most common equations when dealing with absolute values. As you can see, these variables may be complicated, but it's actually very simple. So here, let's go over the variables one by one. So the y and the x are basically representing the axes that the points will be on. So you have to think of this like a normal equation that will help you graph a line. It's only a little different. So the y is the points on the y-axis, and the x are the points on the x-axis. Then we have the vertex points, h and k. These vertex points are usually y and x. So for example, the vertex point would be here of the line. But this is not the case in absolute value equations due to the shape. So for example, the h moves the units along the x-axis, and the k moves the units on the y-axis. So if we were to take k as 1, well, -1, oh, it's not letting me type or draw. Here we go. So if we were to do y equals a, and then the absolute value, x minus 1 plus 2. And our a can be a 3. So we first have to figure out our vertex points. So a -1 moves us 1 unit to the right, while a +1 will move us 1 unit to the left in the h's position. So this would be moving us 1 unit to the right and then 2 units up because it's a positive k. If it's a negative k, it'll move us units down. So what you have to keep in mind is that a negative h is units moving to the right, while a positive k is moving units to the left. And a positive k will move units up, while a negative k will move units down. So we have a negative h in this case, which means we will be moving 1 unit to the right and a positive k, which means we will be moving 2 units up. So here is our vertex point. And now this 3 will help us make the other points. If we figure out one side, the other side will mirror this. So we don't have to worry about the other side. So to figure out the points, what we have to do is we have to plug in x-axis numbers into the equation. So for example, if we took the x as 2, which would bring us over here. So 2 minus 1 is 1, which the absolute value of 1 would be also 1. Then we multiply 3 from the 1, making it 3. Then 3 plus 2 is 5. This makes our y value to our x value 5. So we would be moving 2 units to the right and 5 units up. This is our second point, which we can mirror onto the other side to make our v. So now if we continue this line, we would get the rest of our graph. Like so. And as you can see, our end result is a v, so we do not have anything to worry about as we have done the equation correctly. So let's look at some examples here. So our first example is y equals x minus 1. So what we first do is that we will figure out the vertex point. As you can see, there is no h point, so it'll stay at the default value of 0. However, we do have a k point, which means that we will be doing what the case says. And the k is negative, so we will be moving units down. It's -1, so our vertex point will be here. As you can see, there is no a point, so it will stay our standard graph. Like so. Moving on to our, so this is our final answer to this question. Moving on to our second example. Here we can see that we do in fact have a h point and a k point. This means that we will have a moved vertex. So a +1 means we will be moving 1 unit to the left, and a +4 means we will be moving 4 units up. Here is our vertex point. Now we can start plugging in x values to finish making our graph. So we can take 0 as our first x value. So 0 plus 1 is 1, and the absolute value of 1 is also 1. And we don't have a point, so we don't have to multiply. And 1 plus 4 is 5. So here is our second point, which we can mirror onto the other side to make our final answer. Here is our second graph, and then finally our third example. We have y equals 3 times x minus 4 plus 1. So let's first find our vertex point. We do have an h point right here and a k point here as well. And -4 means 4 units to the right, and then a +k means 1 unit up. So there's our vertex point. And now we can figure out our other points because we do have, in fact, an A point right there. So let's start plugging in x values to figure out our points. So we can do 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. And the absolute value of 1 is also 1. 1 times 3 is 3. And 3 plus 1 is 4. Making our second point 5, 4. Right there. And now we can mirror this to the other side, making our graph. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day.